Yeah. All right, YouTube. What it do, man? It is your boy Najee back in the car with some more card talks for you. All right. So today's topic: why you and your significant other start to kind of fade away, start to kind of fade apart. This could happen for a number of reasons, but for the main part, the main reason why this happens for most couples who have been together for quite some time, especially, is that there becomes kind of like a monotony to your dynamic, right? Your relationship becomes stagnant, to put it simpler, to put it in more simpler terms, right? Your relationship becomes stagnant. A lot of what you guys used to do that was fun or exciting or exhilarating, you guys don't really do that stuff anymore. And I've seen countless times with couples, especially couples that have been together, like I said, for a number of years, months, whatever the case may be, just for a longer time period than just a little couple of weeks or months or something like that, right? I've seen this countless times with couples in longer term relationships that they kind of get used to each other. And so they don't do the same things that kept that spark alive when they were newly, together. Like they were actually just starting out to be boyfriend and girlfriend. They started really hanging out more, all that stuff, right? My advice to you, if you happen to be in this situation and you're one of those people that, you feel like your partner might be kind of like, your feelings are starting to fade a little bit from your partner, and, your connection, your bond together is starting to fade a bit, what I would advise is that you guys start to go out a little bit more. Reintroduce date night, right? Date night should be a constant thing every week. If it happens to be a week thing, or you want to wait until you guys get that paycheck or whatever the case may be, just kind of budget out a little amount for your significant other, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever the case may be, whoever happens to be paying, or if you guys split or whatever the case may be, right? Just make sure you budget out a little bit for date night so that you guys can go and enjoy yourselves and just have a nice time and just reintroduce that fun, exhilarating life back into your relationship. Because a lot of times what happens is you guys get comfortable just kind of having each other around, and so you don't do the extra anymore. You don't put forth the extra effort. And a lot of times what can happen, especially you don't have a really strong bond with your partner, is your partner will get kind of fed up with that, and they'll think that you're lame, and they'll move on to something else, whether that is somebody else or that just happens to be them who just wanted to be single for a while, whatever the case may be, and be out of relationships for a while, to recover from the emotional tear or the emotional scarring, whatever the case may be. That's all that. But definitely have to watch out for that. Another thing you have to watch out for is not being emotionally stable enough to have the tough conversations. Okay. This is more the case for newer couples, especially because newer couples, what happens is when the honeymoon phase is over and you guys start having those arguments and fights more often and shit like that, a lot of times you'll see a newer couple, they'll argue, right? They'll have an argument, and then that one argument will be the straw that broke the camel's back, and they won't try to work through it. They won't try to figure out how they can improve themselves so that they can be better partners for each other, woody whoop, and thus they just break up. And a lot of times that leads up to breakup regrets and breakup anxiety and all that extra stuff. And eventually those exes get back together, and then it just doesn't work out because you guys have separated already. And now that left time for one or both of you to do something that now, if y'all got back together, you would have regretted, because it's like, damn, I did this with this other person, and then I get back together with my ex. So it's like, what the fuck? And that's why in another video, I was like, don't try to get back with your ex, because first off, they're a past part of you. You're supposed to be using your ex to get better and to be a better partner for the future person that you would get involved with. You know what I'm saying? So all in all, you have to be emotionally stable enough, emotionally mature enough, right, to be able to take a bombardment of criticism from your partner and just kind of accept what they're saying and then work through it. Again, I've had issues with this. Not to be too much into my own personal life, but I have to use an example. I can't call for you guys to be better, and I don't, show any vulnerability or give you a real life example for myself. So for myself, for example, I've always had an issue with people telling me what I need to do for me and this, that, and the third, especially when I already know what I struggle with and what I need to work on. So when it happens, I've done a better job of just kind of sitting back and letting them just get off what they think is wrong with me, or what, you know, we both know is wrong with me. Woody whoop. And then we go from there, and I work through the conversation with them from that point on. Again, it takes a certain level of emotional and mental maturity to be able to have those tough conversations. So if you can't have those, I would advise you work on yourself to do that. Trust me, it will go a long way for making you have a much more stable relationship with your partner. Okay. And the last thing I want to touch on real quick, guys, my fellas especially, but sometimes the ladies too, because it causes false fantasies and imageries in your mind that, you know, you want your partner to be on, but that's not necessarily how they move. And thus you are, you know, becoming, jaded, I suppose. You're becoming disillusioned with the idea of them, because they don't do what you feel like they should be doing, because you're so addicted to this one thing. And what I'm alluding to is the pornography. Okay, the corn. Okay, put the corn down. Okay, my fellas, put the corn down. My women, put the corn down. Okay, I tell you right now, pornography has done a fantastic job of just fucking up so many of our brains, to the point that everything we think about in the intimate setting between two people is misconstrued with just this vile and disrespectful and rough acts of sexual intercourse. And in real life, yeah, sure, you can explore those options when you're getting really frisky, but for the most part, it's more vanilla and it's more intimate. So you have to retrain your brain to think in a more realistic sense, as opposed to thinking that everybody you're going to be with, especially your partner, if you're with them for a long time and you know that this person isn't like that, you can't then all of a sudden try to put this expectation onto them as if they're going to jump into this and be like, yeah, this is how I want to move now. I pull hair. Yeah, all this. No. So if they're not like that, they're not like that. If that's not what you want anymore, you might have to have that tough conversation to let them go, because you can't change people, or you can't expect people to change into some vile brute just because you like that all of a sudden, or you can't expect them to, you know, whatever else, if vice versa, become this soft-spoken lover, if that's what you want. At the end of the day, right, those are the three things I feel like you need to really pay attention on if you feel like your partner is starting to fade a little bit on you, or you feel like the relationship is getting a little bit more stagnant. Reintroduce date night. Number one, just to go back through real quick. Reintroduce date night. Number two, develop emotional and mental stability so that you can have tough conversations with your partner and work through your differences. Okay. And then number three, please drop the pornography. Please let it just get out of your brain. Retrain your brain to cure it from all the corn you've been just ingesting and just eating up. You need to stop it. You need to get out of that habit. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video for another talk. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Reach out to me on Instagram right here. Reach out to me on my email right here. If you want to have some other topics discussed, you can reach out to me directly on those places and ask me, hey, Najee, can you talk about this topic? And I'll get to it as soon as possible. All that said, I'll see y'all guys later. Peace out.